Sponsored by Perfect Income Trade, a completely new way to trade Apple, the most valuable company in the world.
Hey, David, nice to see you too. It's good to see you. Thanks, Dave. I'll probably, hopefully I get invited next time. I'll be at Sawgrass next time. I like going.
That's nice.
I still haven't played golf there, but other than that,
I've never been a real big golfer. I've always, Tom's, I think the last time I played golf with Tom was like 20 years ago, but just never been one to hit one of those sticks around.
it,
So,
yeah, me too. I mean, like, I had this whole theory. Like, I know, I listen. It's like if I had any time available to go out and do something and spend like 6 hours to do something, I'd rather at least go fishing and come back with something I could eat. So
exactly.
it's that or golfing. And golfing is a lot of fun. I get it,
Yeah.
but it just really sucks when you suck at it. You know what I mean? Like it's embarrassing. It's just like um and fishing, like you figure it out. Like, people are like, I don't know where to go. You go with someone knows where to go and they'll take you there. You drop the line, you'll catch it. You golf with someone knows what they're doing. They can't, they can't do that.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's
I
terrible.
understand.
Yeah.
So,
But that's pretty good. All right, so it looks like we're up like 12 o'clock, and looks like everyone's pretty much getting in here.
yep.
So
The, the Pope of
Celeste is away, right? Is that right?
Was that?
Celeste is away.
Yeah, Celeste is away. I think she's getting on a plane going somewhere. So
Okay.
I think it's just you and I today.
Yep, yep. Yeah, so it basically like we've done before, I think Jeff, everyone wants to kind of look what's going on at the market today, what's happening, and then I'll basically cover a little bit more of what's happening since the last time I've been here regarding about some of the things that have been moving in the market. I'll do a little training, let's say, regarding about how to trade these markets with the level 4 and the level 3. I just came back, Jeff. I was last week. I was actually, and I kind of miss it. I was up in Toronto for the
Oh,
first time
wow.
after COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually emailed Tom a picture of a restaurant he loves going to. He was like a little superstitious every time I went there.
Yeah.
He went to this one restaurant, and it was right across the street from where the Toronto Expo was. It was a money show.
Cool.
I tell you, what a bunch of nice people up there. Just great
Wow.
to see it. I'm looking so forward to go back. I love it. I mean, going to Vancouver and just meeting all the people. I know a lot of our audience here are also Canadians, but one thing I noticed, Jeff, when I was up there, a lot of people were asking about, level 3 and level 4, and I was shocked. I never really heard that people talking about it. And the guy, I was listening to the
Huh.
presentation before me, and the person, it was a brokerage firm. He's like, I never heard of level 4 before,
Wow.
and it's like, well, it's all over the place and people are talking about it. So I'm glad you guys are here. And I think the more you keep hearing about it, the more it kind of helps you how to trade these markets.
Well, a lot of those Canadian people ought to be here today because I know you're the pro at it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I thought the market was really interesting today. I mean, we've got quadruple witching day today, and actually Asia was holding up pretty well. The one thing, I mean, lately this has been kind of a not a swing market, but in kind of an in and out market. Now, you and I have talked about this many a time. And in fact, when you get to your part, I don't know if you watch this stock at all, but BEAT. You ever seen that? I think it's right.
BBAT?
Yeah. Yesterday, I was just for whatever reason, I saw the thing
Oh,
and
beat.
it had a 54% run yesterday. But something to look at in your little radar because
I'll bring it up so everybody could see it
yeah.
on my chart so everybody could see it there. There you go. Heartbeat, and that one right there.
BEAT, there you go. Heartbeat. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, had a really nice push at $1.90. The only issue I did not see this is that you see how the chart's very spotty like
Yeah.
this? That
Yeah.
means it's not trading that much volume. So
Yeah.
it's very, very low volume. So as much as it's up, and I can see what you basically saw up here, it's got a lot of support. I mean, once
Yeah.
again, being a day trader, you learn how to swing trade, and seeing that big support level's there, I see where you're coming from there.
Yep. Yeah. I was just kind of looking at that thing thinking, well, I bought 1,000 shares of it and got out early. I made, $250, but it wasn't bad.
No,
So, but it
people
was a
forget
nice
about
little
what
run.
250 is. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what kills me. They don't realize like that's a lot of money when you're talking in a short period of time. You're talking about 1,000 shares of a $1.90 stock. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not, you know,
It
it's
didn't
a pretty substantial move.
yeah, it doesn't cost that much. And it moved pretty quickly. And I was just like, I'm getting out of this thing. And the one thing I didn't have, and I hope you show it later on, where all those resistance levels are on there. And my guess is right around that 250, 260 area. And I was bailing before I got to there. So, but yeah.
Yeah, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right there. Well, what was really moving up, and it's funny, but I was for some of you that come to Sawgrass and been part of DTI for a long time, I think it was like last year, I was telling Tom that was really moving lately was the pot stocks. And some of you, did any of you here traded Tilray? When Tom was around, I was talking about this stock for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it was probably right around this June area. Was that no? Was it June? I think it was the June area. And I know you guys did pretty well. I actually no, I think it was maybe around here. It was at $3, and the thing ran to about close to about 5 right around here. But anyway, Tilray obviously came back down, and you got to know how to day trade. But you know what's happening? A lot of the pot stocks have been moving. Okay. And you don't hear too much about it, but I want you to see this really quick, Jeff. Look at Tilray from July. Stock was $1.50, ran to $3.25. ACB, this stock literally ran from 45 cents to $1.10. Look at these charts. MSOS, okay, the ETF of it, $5. Stock is already up at 10. Things been on a big run. Grow, another one. Stock at 250, almost now it's testing getting closer to resistance level 4. So you don't hear too much news about it, but what's nice about understanding about what we're going to talk about in the next few moments about how to day trade is that when you're looking at a certain stock in a certain industry, they're all going to move. Like, I know you're a futures guy. I mean, even like oil. I mean,
Yeah.
oil's been like, where's oil now? $90 a barrel?
Mm-hmm. Yep. 1966.
My God. I mean, like, when's the last time we saw that? That was like, Jesus, that was like what, 76, 75?
Yeah, we were down at we actually hit a low down around 73.5. And actually we went down to like 68. And that's when they were supposed to be, filling up the petroleum, reserves. And of course they didn't do it. They didn't want it. And now it's up here at $90. They're not going to see $70 for a good while now. We've had too much draws in inventory just over the past 3 months. The draws are getting pretty substantial. And another thing that what people don't watch are crude imports. And even though, during the Trump era, we were, producing more oil than you could shake a stick at, but we were still importing some just because of our trade agreements. And even that has been leaking off and decreasing some. So not only do we have decrease in oil and gas production, but we're having decrease in oil imports as well. So you've seen crude, catch a bid, especially when it's busted 85. And now we're up here probably going to hit some resistance around 92.5 to 92 on the thing. The one thing that's not really following it real well, though, is gasoline. Last time crude oil was up here at $90, gasoline was pushing against 305, and it's still down here at 273. So it's got
really
where
we are. It's almost $4 a gallon.
Yeah. Well, now hold on. I mean, the 273s, that's without any tax. That's wholesale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you threw me off there for a second.
Yeah.
I never knew someone looked at it that way.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
in fact, what's really cool, I'll show you this. This is what I do for fun. I don't know if I have that up here though. Let me make sure I do. So where's my table? It's under D, I think. There it is.
Just one person, Tim was asking the ARM stock really quick right here.
So you'll notice at the very, very top of this is kind of like a quote page. I have a thing called gas price. So I take the futures price of gasoline and I add all the taxes, the federal taxes, the Alabama taxes, the local taxes and everything like that. So it's up around 228. So if you looked at all the taxes in New York going on to gasoline, that's probably why you're seeing it push against $4. And so, but I always, the game I play, if I can get gas within 5 cents of that, I think I'm doing really good.
Okay.
But when I'm driving down the road and I see something at $3.49 a gallon, I'm like, that's 20 cents high. I said, I'm not doing that. So I actually trade the gasoline in my car. And
Right.
so, but if I can get it below that, then I know that I can probably, in a couple of days, it's going to be higher than that and I'll be okay. But yeah, I always kind of look at those things.
Okay, good. Good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's and in the stock market, I really haven't seen certain stocks they affect. Like I usually look at Boyle and everything else. We'll talk a little bit about it. But with that said, it looks like most people are in here. So you know what? I want to kind of get into why I was invited here today because, like I said, I was in Toronto. Some of you have been watching me. I've been on NASDAQ more frequently, talking about NASDAQ book viewer and everything. So like when it comes to trading today's markets, I know that we have some people like I was just talking to someone the other day, Jeff, and someone was a student, and he's like, I don't know if day trading is for me or not, whatever it is. And what happens, it correlates to swing trading and investing. We all trade the same exact way, but when you're looking at driving at the gas pump and see what's happening, people don't realize, but you are also kind of a day trader too. Sometimes I see you look at these things, you're there every day. I mean, you're being affected by it. But as everyone's here, don't look at it where like Tim is asking about the stock ARM, it's 2 days old. Well, how are you going to view that as a swing trade? I mean, it's a new IPO that just came out, so you have to kind of so we're going to be like, well, when should I jump in? Meanwhile, that ARM that you're talking about started yesterday at 56 and it went to a high of 68, almost 70 in pre-market. It's very hard to kind of do it. And first of all, Tim, I would never trade that stock. There's a lot more stocks out there that are less risky because it's all about low risk, high reward. So let me go in, let me kind of bring up this PowerPoint here for everyone so we can kind of cover a couple of things here and share with everyone. So I want to do a quick little, there we go. All right, can everybody see it okay?
I see it.
All right, good. So I want to talk about a couple of examples, and we're going to go into the market. We're going to look at a couple of stocks, and we're going to talk about them and see what some people are out there, what we're looking at. So just to kind of go over a couple of things, hopefully everybody knows a little bit about me. I mean, I know I've been here for a while, but I just love being here teaching people how to trade today's markets. I mean, it's going up, doing on-sites, going down to Sawgrass, coming down there and seeing face-to-face and doing these webinars and having hundreds of people listening in. Obviously, it helps me and Jeff and all us here that there is a very big interest because a lot of people got to learn how to do it. But the key is it's all about learning how to stop losing money. That's the big thing why we're here. We're all trying to master that. And that's why you have to learn how to get into these trades and get out of them. So I want to kind of show you a couple of stocks that are we're moving today. I know I talked a little bit about the pot stocks, but there were a lot of other things that are moving in today's markets. And just to let you know, how we find those stocks that are moving in today's markets is, we don't give I'm not going to, tell you what's moving. Really, pretty much everyone here has it. They basically just work off the big percentage gainers and losers. And I'm going to go through that. I'm going to show you a couple of big percentage gainers and losers. Today was not the greatest day, I'll be honest with you. This morning, we had a couple of stocks that are moving, even a couple of brand names like NVIDIA and Tesla, and even AT&T was moving too, believe it or not. We'll look at some of those. I rarely ever trade that, but there were some things that are moving. They'll show up in those big percentage gainers. The key is, which one is going to give you the least amount of risk with the high amount of reward. Because as a trader, like Jeff, you told me about that stock you traded yesterday. When was the last time you ever traded that stock?
Never.
Exactly. Exactly. You never did. You didn't even know anything about it. You know what I mean? All you're like, damn, this thing's up 50%. You know what I mean? If oil was at $50 and went to 100, did you ever see that before?
I have seen that. It took it a
In
while.
one day? Oh, it did actually did. I remember it did. Actually, I do remember that. But
Yeah.
you can't come every morning and think it's going to happen like that. You know
No.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why there's always opportunities out there. And Jeff can't, and you guys can't wait for the next time oil does that again. But in the stock market, they're every day, you know? So let's talk about some of the stocks. So basically what I want to kind of talk about, and before I go into this, have any of you here, just give me a yes or no. Have any of you ever seen me do a presentation before? Just out of curiosity, just give me a yes or no. Can you have? Okay. Yes, 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 yes. Because the better I understand who's here as an audience, then I won't talk about certain things versus other things. Okay, Linda has never seen me before. Gary, you have. First time, Lee. Okay, good. All right, so sometimes it takes times over and over to keep hearing it before it actually sinks in. I mean, I love going, coming down on site, and when I see Jeff and I see Tom, they're sitting there in the front row listening. Great traders never stop learning, so always keep that in mind. So let's talk about something called NASDAQ Book Viewer. Now, I'll say it before and I'll say it again. When I started, it cost me $1,000 a month to get this software from the exchange. I had to have a seat on the exchange. Today, it costs $15. Why no one in their right mind would pay $15 to have a seat on the exchange on the NASDAQ is beyond me. I still can't figure that out, because what you're seeing right here, you're going to see every order out there. Now, before I go to that platform, I just want to explain, just kind of reiterate again what we're looking at. You're looking at you got to understand, NASDAQ controls about over 50% of the volume that trades in the stock market. So in any stock you look at, 50% of those orders route right through here. Okay. This is the floor of the exchange. Of course, you $15. That's all it costs. The power of using it is it tells you where the orders are. Now, knowing that there are 50% of the volume going on there, it's going to aggregate everyone out there. No matter where you are in the world, you're going to be part of people at a price. So when you put a limit order out there, it is going to be advertised at the exchange, which is on the NASDAQ. And you could see like here, like charge point. Hold on, let me get my little pointers out here so you guys can follow along. So you could see right here with charge point how the stock started coming down. It kind of stopped right here around $5 because of a 55,000 share buyer out there on the bid. Right here on the left-hand side, these are your buyers and these are your sellers. And in these three columns, you have orders, shares, and the price. Sellers, the amount of shares, and the orders that make up there. So right around here, when you're looking at it, that's like the first thing that sticks out in your eye. You're like, you're looking at these orders, 200, 500, 300, but when you see 55,000 on the bid, you'd be like, who would anybody in their right mind want to buy 55,000 shares of the stock? Oh, but did I mention it's not one price? It's 19 different people out there that make up that 55,000. So when you're wondering how a stock makes a support level, well, support levels do not exist unless there are buyers out there to make those support levels. So let me just reiterate that again. A lot of you here are always looking for support levels and resistance levels, but in the eyes of a trader, we cannot believe in a support and resistance unless those buyers you thought were in the past, which is the support level you're looking for, are there in the future. And this is the future of the market. The future is, where are the limit orders out there? Now, for $15 a month, why in the right mind would anybody not want to buy that? I wish somebody here would tell me that. I still have never got an answer back. Okay. But hopefully we'll convert everyone here. Now, listen, I'm not here to sell NASDAQ. I don't work for them. They don't pay me. I'm just kind of telling you that, like, I had a trader the other day. I spoke to Jeff 3 days ago, and they had a lot of money in the market, whatever. They had about $500,000 in the market. And I don't know if they're listening in here right now, so I got to be careful what I say. So I'm not going to try to point out. But the first thing that they told me is like, why would I want to buy? I mean, the first thing they told me off the bat, they said, oh, they offer 20-minute delay. I'm like, no, they don't. This brokerage firm, right? I'm like, they offer 20-minute delay. No, they don't. They're like, yeah, they do. I tried to open an account with them at 20-minute delay. I'm like, I've been doing business for like 20 years. They don't have 20-minute delay. You know why they offer 20-minute delayed? because they didn't want to pay for the data. And I said, let me get something straight. You got $500,000 in the market. You're trading every day and you're trading on 20 minutes delayed because you don't want to pay the $15 for the data. You know what I mean? And the only reason why they would ever talk to you or me is because they're obviously not doing very well. Right? To get me and you on the phone, believe me, they did their homework and did everything in their power to kind of talk to us. And I love talking to people. And you know what? The last thing you want to do is talk to me, because I tell you, listen, this is not the New York in me. Maybe it's the Italian in me, whatever it is. But I tell everyone off the right the bat. I says, do yourself a favor. Don't trade. Go hire someone. Go give it to Morgan Stanley. Maybe put it now. Interest rates are up about 5%. Maybe put in a treasury. You're wasting your time. But I like trading. I'm like, do yourself a favor. You're being a penny cheap, but a dollar foolish. You know, if you ever heard that, Lee. Oh, yeah. You can't be going out there and trying to do things if you're not going to get it. Chris says, I subscribed to NASDAQ 3 months ago. I haven't got time to use it yet. Listen, you will. And hopefully after today, Cypress, that you'll be able to, I'm going to give all of you a workshop where you can come in and I'll show you in detail how to use it. Let me go over a few trades that we traded this week. Okay, so let's talk about Tesla. Tesla came down and had a big going down. Now, for a lot of us, we're looking at stocks and we're like, you're going to get two different people in here. You're going to get the person who's going to try to catch, try to buy it and maybe get a good deal at it. Or you're going to get the other person, which is like, holy crap, I'm losing my money. How much lower is this damn thing going to go? Do I sell it now? The only way you're going to know where it's going to stop is where the buyers are. And let's just go to NASDAQ and see what's happening. For a stock to go down, what are we looking for? Buyers. That's all we're looking for is buyers. We're going to go to the buy column and we're going to work our way down. And we'll notice that right around here, around 270, we got 262 orders out there for 20,000 shares. Now, who are you going to take more serious? Me, Jeff, the guy who wants to buy 1,000 shares, or the 263 people out there that make up the 20,000? Because I don't know about you. If there's anyone going to follow, is the exchange and follow those orders. Because if you didn't see that, if you were looking to buy it, that would have been the entry to find to buy it. And if you took it and sold it and not know he was out there, you're going to be like, damn it, why do I feel like every time I sell a stock, someone's watching me? And I always tell Jeff, I say, listen, nobody's watching you. You're just not watching them.
That's right.
I mean, that's all you got to do is watch them. But these are the reasons why you're here. And these are the things that you got to basically understand. Is there a link to go buy the NASDAQ seat? Yes. And I'll tell you exactly where to get that TMC. But before I do that, let me show you another one. Why is IONQ going up? That is really the reason you got to ask yourself. And the reason why is because there are buyers in the stock. Let's think about it. What makes stocks go up and go down? Buying and selling. But you as a game plan, you got to know where is it going to pull back and where the seller is going to show up. So when you go to the exchange, you'll notice that we got to go to the sell column and we'll see right here on the right, the biggest number we see is 23,000 shares at 1845. Now, without using any indicators or heat seekers, and I don't know, whatever, they always have these crazy names people call them. You just got to follow the damn order out there. And when you're looking at this, you can be like, oh, this stock is definitely going higher. Some people will call this a double top. Some people will call it a bull flag. There are so many ways, teacups and handles, and you know what I'm talking about. There's so many of them out there. End of the day, if you didn't get out at that 1845, now you're down close to 18, and you might convert a nice winner into a loser. And that's what you don't want to do. So where can we get it? I think that's what you're asking, TMC. Listen, take my email address, okay? You can go to NASDAQ website. You're not going to find it because they have it buried. It's on a different site. Just take my email address. I'll put it in here. Send me an email because I want to be able to make sure that, that all of you get to watch a quick video I made on it so you know how to set it up. Because like Jeff would, and anybody here on Ask the Pros would tell you, we could tell you, we could bring you there, but if we don't know how to do it, you'll end up making more harm to yourself than good. And you don't want to do that. So let's go jump on to level 4. Now, level 4 is an upgrade to it. This was introduced to me about like 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm not a fan of people coming up to me telling me about new different softwares, but this one obviously took it to a different level. On the right-hand side right here, you'll notice this is like more of the book viewer. This is like all the orders. Now, I know some of us, the first thing people get this impression, they're like, these numbers move pretty quickly. They change, it's time and sales and everything else. So what they kind of implemented into a heat map. And, does anyone here have Thinkorswim? Just out of curiosity, Jeff, you have it, right? So you can get this on Thinkorswim on your dashboard. Yeah, so it's like I think it's like $40 a month.
Right.
Once again, I don't want you guys buying it. Okay, let me show you how to use it first, and let me go through a couple of examples, because just like the gentleman before said it, I bought NASDAQ book viewer 3 months ago. I haven't used it yet. The reason why you haven't used it yet, because no one taught you how important it was. And if you're trading now, how in the right mind could you not even look at that first before you make your trade? So let's look at Tesla for an example. So Tesla had some nice support levels right around here, around 260. How do we know that? Because there was a 58,000 share buyer, and you could see this nice red line. And that red line tells me that he's been out there since the morning, and he's still out there. By knowing he was out there, you could see, some of you might look at it and be like, well, it never got to 260. It stopped at 261. Why did it do that? Well, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, 121,000 share buyers showed up. When he showed up, that's what drove the stock higher. And not only that, but that's how you went from 261 to 264 in a matter of about 10 minutes. And you're like, man, that was a big run up. How did it do that? Because that buyer showed up. And if you look at that, look how fast it came down. But when he showed up, you could see how it had second thoughts, like, whoa, we back off. I can't go any lower. I got to deal with 118,000 share buyer. Do you guys have any idea how much money that is? That's you're talking about 26 million. Is that right, Jeff?
Yeah, times 261.
Yeah, 118,000 shares. Am I right?
30 million, 31 million.
31 million, yeah. I always do things simple. I was pretty good at math. I always go to the nearest 100, and then I kind of add on top of that. So let's say 100,000 shares, 26 million, and then you can figure out another 18,000 to it. So you could see how the stock had a really good move and shot up all the way to, within that time, after like even 15 minutes. Now we're at 265. Now the problem is this. Now, where you sell it? Well, to sell it, the way you know how to sell it is where are everyone else selling it? So now, if you want to know, you're dealing with about another 124,000 shares looking to be sold at 266. So look what happened when it got to 266. It hit resistance, and it started going back down. It's all about knowing where those buyers and sellers are. Okay. So what I want to also explain to you is this. You ever have a trade and you're like, what is a breakout? Like, how is a stock break resistance levels? Like, what makes, why did I, you sold it, everything came into play, and then all of a sudden the thing goes higher. Well, what happens sometimes is that even though you might have a big seller of 124,000, do you see this little green ball? That green ball tells me that someone bought those 124,000 shares, and then you had about 15 minutes, which is called consolidation, with a lot of green balls. There was no one out there anymore, and that's how the stock went from 260 all the way up to 270, which is another $5 higher in a matter of 30 minutes. And now you're dealing with another big seller of 244,000. So when you thought 124,000 is a lot, now you just double that at $5 higher. And like it or not, it's going $5 higher. That's basically what happens. So what I want to do right now is I want to go to the live markets. And by going to the live markets, if anyone has any stock that you want me to look at, I'm going to show you how important it is to use these tools and how we teach our traders to go there. So right away, I know right away when I'm going to get Jeff, I'm going to get brand name stocks. That's the first thing.
You might want to answer Steve's question. It's actually a very good question. I know the answer unless you want me to answer it.
How does this order information differ from volume profile? Well, It's the volume that drives the stock, but that drives the transactions that happen. But it's those orders that you see in the future that they have to, that are going to make that big support and resistance levels. If that answers your question, Steve.
Yeah, the volume profile is actually in the past,
right.
where what you're seeing here is the future. The volume profile is actually telling you, hey, this is how much volume at a specific price. So once it busted that 263 area, whatever where that big seller was, and it goes up to 270, that would go into the volume profile. But until then, it's not there.
Right. One stock I want to bring up is NVIDIA, because NVIDIA has been a popular stock. I mean, obviously with the whole AI thing going on, and them having the super chips to do that, AI and NVIDIA basically just took off. You could see it, stock was at 150, it's already at 500, big winner. Now the question is that regardless about it's down almost about $50. As a swing trader, you're still kicking ass. I mean, you're doing great. But as a short-term trader or day trader, the stock's been trending down. So now we're looking at this stock right here. Now, I'm going to do a little test right here. Can anybody tell me, when did the stock bounce? What price did the stock bounce this morning? Anybody want to take a guess? If I have to, I'll zoom in a little bit closer. What number do you think we got there? Everybody give me a number. What number you think support levels are at? Let me blow this up a little bit bigger. You need help? Because I'm keeping it simple right here. So anybody want to look at it? It wasn't 400. It's basically 141. Everybody agree? Okay. I mean, like, you see the stock started, it's been coming down. Now all of a sudden, right around this 12 o'clock, it started going from 141, and now we're at 143. Okay, I mean 443 from 441. Does anyone have any just wild guess? Why did the stock, after start going down, started going up at $441? What made that stock go higher? Let's see how all of you answer that question. A lot of buyers, right? Okay. Now, how do you think we're going to find those buyers? How are we going to find those buyers? Orders. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to bring up level 4 here. I'm going to show you what's going on here. So here's level 4. All right. Now, do you see this big red line right here? You know what number that is? Can anybody tell me? What number is that? Exactly. It's 141. And you can see how the stock came down. Once it came to 141, what happened to the price of the stock? It shot right up. And now we're at 444. The only reason why the stock bounced, and you could see how thick that order is, that was a very big order. Now, you're not seeing them right now on the right. You're seeing it as 7,800. But if I move this over, if you really want to know how much big that order was over there, it was about 20,000. Once I get closer, you could see it. I could zoom in. That's what's nice about it. You could try to figure out, like, how much was it? Was it a lot? Was it a little? That's what's nice about using your tools to kind of like zoom in and zoom out. AT&T was actually pretty cool. So AT&T, let me bring up AT&T really quick, because that was moving. So AT&T, you could see it this morning, had a really good, decent pop this morning. Nothing crazy, slow moving stock. Went from like this 14.95 and shot up all the way up to here about this 15.30. And you can see right around 10.45, it kind of died. The reason why this stock died at this price is because of this. So AT&T, you could see this little red ball. That means that there was a big sell that came in, and that's called a slingshot at the open. It took the seller out of here on $15.15. But you see all these lines over here. There's a lot of sellers. It's a lot more darker once we got close to about this 15, 20, 28. A lot of reds over there. So it wasn't a big mover. So if you're a new trader or a beginner trader, you could still trade something like this, not like a NVIDIA where the stock moved $4 and you need to trade you need a $500,000 to buy 1,000 shares of it. You could also trade inexpensive stocks and do that also. Okay. Tesla has pretty good. Tesla is pretty good. So somebody brought Tesla. I'm gonna bring up Tesla really quick. So I'm gonna do another one, and then I'll bring up somebody else's. So Tesla also took a little bit of a beating from 300, came all the way down to almost 200. It's found a good move. So you could see Tesla right here. You could see support levels, resistance levels. I'm blow this up here a little bit bigger. You can see where the support levels, how the stock came crashing down from 278 all the way down to 272, kind of hovered right around here, 272, and it shot right back up to 276, hit some resistance levels. I don't know why. Oh, I do know why. I'm going to show you why. Came back to support levels here, resistance. And the reason for that is this. If you blow this up, once again, it's all about reading the future. Let me go back 3 hours, get some more data. So you could see here on, hold on, it's loading up historical data. Tesla has a little bit more data, so sometimes it takes a little bit slower to capture all that data and load it up. Almost there. It's there, load. Still loading up data. A lot of historical data on Tesla. It trades a lot of volume, a lot of shares. All right, anyway, as it's loading it up, you could see right here in the bottom, 222, 50,000 shares. You could start seeing something that's called a ladder effect. Buyers showed up here at 274. Then another buyer showed up at 274.50. And then you could see why the stock had some resistance levels at 278 and 277. Is that a lot? I'll tell you what's a lot. The 265,000 shares at 280. So for some of you here, you might not, you might look at this and might say you're micromanaging regarding about, these little iceberg orders of 20, 50,000. But can you use this as swing trading? You sure damn well you could, because 280, you're talking about, if you were trying to swing trade it, could it get to 280? Absolutely. It's got to get past those other sellers first. But if you're looking long term and want to have a little bit more of a bigger perspective of where resistance levels, 280 at 250,000. And when I scroll down, you could see these lines, all these out there, 285, 290. You could see those orders out there already defaulted. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call program trading. So if you want to know what program trading is, these are all algorithms of orders that automatically get put out just in case something crazy happens. And these brokerage firms have these orders defaulted to get out. God forbid something happens. Now, for anyone here that trades options, I want to tell you a little bit how options correlate with the stock. An option is an option gets its someone will put an order on an option, but an option is like renting. Okay, you don't own anything, you're borrowing someone's stock. So someone to give you an option, that means somebody owns it. So if somebody owns the option, what they're doing is they say, hey, you want to rent my stock? No problem. But what they'll do is if someone goes out there, give me 1,000 contracts, which might be crazy, right, Jeff? You know what I mean? So, yeah. But someone has to cover that trade. So they will say, shoot, somebody wants to buy a large option trade. And then you wonder, like, who wants to sell 250,000 shares? Maybe that was related to an option trade. Someone's got to cover it, if it gets executed. So these are programs that are kicked in also on top of it. And because there's sometimes I've seen some, after hours, someone did some big options trades on it, and then someone's got to cover it just in case they get screwed. And you'll see these orders out there in the future. So that's really kind of where the power of where level 4 comes in. Now, what I like to do is if I like to pick someone else, if they had another stock, I want to use somebody else that's here. I know someone else gave me a stock that they want me to look at. Let me see if I see anything good out there. So somebody just give me a couple of stocks you want me to look at. Eli Lilly. Not
just
really, not
yeah.
really more too much of a day trading stock. It's a little on the expensive side. Want something a little bit more that's got some good action in it. DDOG dog. I gotta look at the orders out there on dog. Millions nine, not going to get that much volume on it. Bang. No, 800,000 shares. Not going to get a lot of orders. AMD, you might, Bob. AMD, 39 million shares. That one's not terrible. Let me look at AMD for you. And we'll look at this. So load up the data on AMD. So AMD, obviously, just like NVIDIA taking a hit, they're in the same industry. AMD for 106, built a lot of support here at 102. So the thing is, if you're shorting the stock, you probably want to know where you want to cover. And if you were somebody that's looking to maybe, get an opportunity because you missed it on the big run and you want to think like, hey, you know what? I love NVIDIA. I love AMD. I want to know where to get into the stock. This one obviously has probably a little bit more action in it. I'm going to show you what we got going on here. So let me bring up AMD. So here's AMD. And now what you're looking at is you could see right here, see that red line right there? What price at 103? So what happened over here, that was at big support levels. And it hit it there right around 10:15. It shot back up. But finally, you had another buyer right there. And what happens, he disappeared. If you look right there, I don't know if you see that. He got executed. And how do I know that? That big bull right there has got a lot of red versus green. And then there was a huge buyer here, and they got executed. And then this is called consolidation. So what happens is support levels get broken. How? Because that buyer that made that support held it there. Somebody says, you know what? I'm not interested. I want out. And he sold it. And then what's going to happen? Like it or not, it's going to go to the next support level, which was right here. That buyer got done. Where's the next support level? Right here, which is 102. And then sure enough, that 102, what I'm seeing right here is, you see how it gets like red and it gets lighter and it gets red again? What happened was that seller got done, and there's this thing called refreshing. What refreshing means is that somebody probably went out there to sell, like, let's say, the buy 10,000. He got executed and says, you know what? I want to buy another 10,000. But he doesn't want to tell you he wants to buy 10,000, because if he did go out there, maybe he just said, you know what? I want to buy more. I want to buy more. I want to buy more. And how do I know that? Because you see that color got redder and redder. And just like over here, it got really dark red, and it went up, came back down to test it. So, and you could see that right around these numbers, you got a lot more lines here than up here. So that's why when we're looking at having a game plan, and you saw a stock that took a big hit, and wondering, okay, where do I catch a falling knife, or is the knife going to hit the wood floor soon? Well, sure enough, it hit that wood floor, and that was your number. And if you knew that was where you wanted to get in, guess what? Now now you're in an area where you could say, I'm comfortably surrounded by a bunch of other buyers like me. So you feel a little more comfortable owning it. But just remember, if those buyers are not there, you don't want to be there. How do I know that? Because I was a market maker, and every time that I thought I knew more than what the street did, okay, I got fined. That, or I got fired. And I see that, not me personally, but I seen people get fired in the trading room. Because listen, when you work as a trader for a firm, they expect you to make money. They do not expect you to lose money. They expect you are going to lose, and they expect that you're supposed to learn from your losses. But but someone has to be the adult in the room. If you keep losing and losing and losing, just think about having an employee. You hire an employee and you keep screwing up, and you keep giving people more cash than, like, do you know how to add? Like, like the register does it for you. And like, oh, it does? Okay. And meanwhile, you come back and the guy's still short. Be like, listen, I'm sorry, but this job's not for you. You got to go. Trading's the same thing. If you can't get it, you're going to have to try something else, and that's okay. And when I got into the industry, if you just follow the orders, if you can't get this, and believe me, I don't think I lost anybody. You could see it's not as complicated what it is, but if you understand it, you're going to catch on really quickly. So what I'd like to do right now is, who here, I want to show you something else before, because we're almost done here. And I want to bring something up here. So, this right here, fellow traders, is our professional trading room. So these are all our instructors. These are all our traders, and we have over 1,000 traders. I would say about 10 to 20% of them are at a given time. People are different around the world. Some people in California, some people in Germany, some here on West Coast. It's not a full-time job. And I want to invite all of you to come into this trading room. I want you to see how we find these stocks. I want to show you exactly how to follow these orders. I want you to see our alerts up here on top, how we do all that stuff. So I want to invite all of you here to come and see what we do and how we do it all day long, because remember, I can't teach you how to make money in 45 minutes. I could just spark your interest. But the thing is, now you probably want to see if we practice what we preach, and now is going to be your opportunity to do it. So, because when you look at this picture right here, you'll notice on the left, over there on the right on that screen over there, those are orders, and that's what they're looking at. This is a picture here on the right. We do a presentation for Charles Schwab. The reason why Charles Schwab has me there is they want you to learn how to trade. And by the way, if anyone here has a Thinkorswim platform, they're doing a big merger together. You're going to have to learn this stuff anyway. We do one-on-one classes. We teach you how to use it, how to use that platform. And believe me, if you know what you're doing, they want you to learn it because you'll be their client theirs forever. This is why we've been endorsed by some of the biggest brokerage firms in the industry. And believe me, you don't need to do your homework. They do it for you. They do credit checks on us. They do background checks on my staff. I mean, believe me, my staff's not comfortable about that. But listen, we got nothing to hide. You got nothing to worry about. That's what I always tell everybody. So, and if we do good by them, if we're willing to do that, believe me, that's why we're here, and that's why we're talking to you guys here at Ask the Pros. Also, if you ever look at our Google review, we're talking about we have a 5-star rating with that alone. So, how could you learn more if anyone here wants to do it? I want you to join you all in my trading room. I want you to see what we do. I want to, for some of you that want to get the book viewer or maybe open up Thinkorswim and get that, and get the book map or whatever they have. I recommend you to do this first. Let me give you some workshops. Let's show you what it looks like in the live market. Okay. Don't let me be the person to tell you, for someone to come from public transportation and tell you could buy your own car and you're going to go out and buy the car without me teaching you how to drive. Okay. Because we all know that's not going to work too well. When you give it to, you could do more harm than good by giving someone the keys to the car if you didn't even teach them how to drive it. Funny story. Now, talking about cars. I have one more son that's got to learn how to drive. And I don't know if anyone here ever taught someone how to drive. Here you are, you jump in a car and you think it's like a joke, right? It's the most scariest thing in the world to get in a car with someone that never drove before. You're like 16, 17 years old, and they got the foot on the brake and foot on the gas, and you're like in a parking lot. They're like, what's wrong with you? You're like freaking out. This is what's going to happen to you being in the trading, but that's okay. It doesn't take that long. Once you know how to play the game, you'll get it. So this is what I'm offering everybody. We're going to have in our trading room, we do live broadcast every morning at 9 a.m. We do an afternoon broadcast, commentary all day long. We'll do swing trading. We'll do day trading. We'll do a little bit of options, but I'll leave that to Tom and you guys to do that. But you could do it. We do offer it. And all we're asking is this. All we're asking is just let us know if you're a real person or not. And we're asking for $9 to do that trial. So instead of paying $15 for book viewers, instead of paying $40 on the Thinkorswim platform, how about paying $9? And you know what? After a week, I'll give you money back. I don't need your $9. I just need to know you say who you are. Okay. So all you need to do is just take your phone, scan that QR code. That's all you need to do. And we'll get you registered. Now, let me tell you a couple of things you're going to get. With that, you're going to get 1 week live in the cyber group room. When you do that, we run from 7:45 to about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You don't got to be there all day. You could actually access it on your phone. So we have the app for that. Everything is all live that we trade. Also, we're going to throw in there, we got these workshops to teach you how to use level 3 and level 4. I'd rather you watch that first before you go purchase it. And also, we're going to give you 100 hours of our Traders Talk library we've done. We do a Q&A with our students. So if you want to know mistakes that they made or mistakes that you probably made, you probably want to definitely hit that up too. And last but not least, I'm going to give you away my book. Okay. If you want, you could pay me, go to Amazon. We sell for $47. Personally, I would like that, but I'd rather give it to you for free. So if you want my book, it's a #1 bestseller, How to Beat Market Makers That Own Game. It's been published by Wiley, one of the most well-known publishers in the industry. So it's a fast read. It's a great read. And I can almost guarantee you'll read it 2-3 times, because you just understand it. Tells you a little history about me, how I got into trading, which is no different what you're doing right now. And it'll also tell you a little bit about how to trade today's market. Once again, all that for $9. And like I said, if it doesn't work out, we'll give you $9 back. And a question people always ask me is this: what happens after a week? It's up to you. We're not going to bill you $200,000, $300,000 after a week. Listen, I don't need the scrutiny. Okay, I've done this long enough. If you're happy and we prove it to you, you'll continue. If you don't want to continue, no problem. Don't worry about it. There's no pressure. There's none of that. You don't have to worry about it. I'd rather if everybody's so scared to get into trading and they're just nervous about it, and I get it. But when you have people like us here at Ask the Pros, and we're here to kind of talk to you a little bit about it, the only thing we could do here at Ask the Pros is just kind of tell you what we see, what's happening in the market, and spark your interest. But there's going to be a time where you got to make an investment. Remember what I told you before about the person that had $500,000 in the market, and after talking to them, they were using 20 minutes delayed, okay, because they didn't want to pay the $15 to get the real data. And I'm just looking at them. I'm like, you're going to end up losing all your money. You're like one trade away. Do you know what it's like to be 20 minutes in a race behind? You think you're going to win that race being 20 minutes behind? You know what I mean? Like, come on. I mean, there's better ways of doing things. I'm not telling you to pay 15, whatever, pay 9. A couple of questions here. Sorry if I get that. As a professional, I have learned to trust Wiley as a publisher. Okay, well, thank you very much. And let me tell you something, Ken, regarding about Wiley. I really didn't have an interest writing a book, and it's just a lot of work to write a book. So there hasn't been a good day trading book that has been since the So's Bandits when I started. So they kept pressuring, Fausto, we need a book, please. You're well known. So I ended up writing it, and it actually worked out well. But guess what, Ken? It's not going to cost you anything. So just do that $9, you get it. What do we got here? I said I was going to join. Okay, well, look forward to seeing you there. I was afraid to trade, and I'm afraid to be for being homeless. Well, let me tell you, you work so hard for your money. You know what happens is that you'll notice that a lot of us are older probably in this room, and we work really hard to work on our pensions and save that money for your IRAs. Listen, Social Security is not covering it. You know that. You can't live off that. And you know what? You save all this money, you could blow through that like that. A couple of trips, maybe doing a favor, give a little gifts to your grandkids, whatever. And next thing you know, you're in big trouble. The money you make, you're supposed to build on it, not live off it. And we all know trading the markets, there's no better way, especially at our age. No one's hiring us at $100,000, $200,000 salary. Sometimes they will, but majority is some of us don't want to go back. We like to stay home. We want to live our lives. And you know why you're here. But you got to surround yourself with people that do it every day and that are good at it. And that's why we're here, because we're always looking to recruit traders that we could trade with. And if you think you have it in you, hopefully this will be your opportunity to get into it.
And it's well worth it. I mean, this is a fantastic deal for $9. I mean, just like Fausto said, go kick the tires, see if you like it. If you like it, awesome. If you don't, then back away a little bit.
That's find out the real truth of what it is. I mean, some people get a little nervous, like, I'm more of a futures trader, more of an options trader. Listen, you need to try a little bit of everything, because we all trade the same. Like we'll cover a lot of psychology, discipline. I mean, we all know that, how to take losses. You know what I mean? Like we'll cover that. A lot of you just don't know how to admit when you're wrong. Sometimes someone's got to be the grown up in the room and tell you. You might not like it, but let me tell you, like, just listen. I had a trade the other day. I was trading Cava, CAVA, and I love the stock. I went to the store. I thought it was going to be the next Chipotle. Made a lot of money on it, and then all of a sudden, I averaged up and averaged up and averaged up. At the end of the day, I broke even, and if I didn't sell it, I would have been down probably 20-30% on my account. You know what I mean? Like, these are the things you got to look at. Trader, he says, I respect criticism, constructive criticism. I do too. And that's why, like I tell everyone, if I'm doing something wrong, just tell me. That's where it comes down to it. But you got the link, you got the QR code. We're almost done. We've got about a couple of minutes. Anyone else have any other questions?
No, just to let you know, though, I tortured my kids and teaching them how to drive. I taught them how to drive backwards first, and
I never heard
parallel,
that before.
and then parallel park, and then we learned how to drive forward.
You know what? I might have to try that with my third son.
Yep.
I'm trying to go backwards and see what he does, because I guess he won't go as fast.
Yeah. Well, the thing is everybody messes up. That's the one areas I always learned. And when I was in school, they never taught you how to back up and parallel park. You kind of had to learn on your own. Right. And so I thought, well, I'm going to teach them what I didn't know first, and then everybody knows how to go forward.
Right. Well, you drive a go-kart or something like that. You drive it like never go backwards. You always go forward. Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, listen, what you're saying is like the same thing, I guess, what we're explaining here in trading. Everyone's always talking about winners. Does everybody talk about the losers? Learn how to go, like, how to take losses? Nobody likes to talk about those. You know what I mean? So it's like, I guess the same kind of theory. It's kind of just working backwards instead of working forwards.
Yep.
Ken says, says, Jeff,
mean.
You're mean.
So
that's a good one. Does it work for futures? You know what? Actually, level 4 does work for futures. I don't trade futures. I know Jeff does, but you can use this towards futures. You also can use this towards cryptocurrency. I did an event yesterday with BK Forex. I don't know if you guys know Kathy Lynn, but it does work for Forex too. But I'm just from New York. I'm a stock guy. This is how I was, and I just I'm not a jack of all trades. I stick what I know, and that's it. I leave that for Jeff to deal when it comes to the futures part.
It definitely works on futures. The S&P and the NASDAQ, I mean, if you look at the level 4 on that, it's kind of hard to see the support and resistance levels real well unless you're looking at a longer term basis instead of a short term basis.
Yep.
But if you get into like the grains and the meats, it works really well.
Just a couple of shout outs. I want to go give out a couple of people. Jeff H from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Congratulations, and on your Phillies for winning yesterday. Look forward to seeing you there. William K from Tennessee, just got your registration. Welcome aboard. Lee G from San Antonio, Texas, got your registration. Who else we got here? R. Livingston from Lake Charles, Louisiana. So just give you guys a little heads up also that when you do register, we're going to ask you, there's going to be a Q&A, just basically just know a little bit about you. If you're trading now, what kind of trading. You're also going to be able to book an appointment with your education advisor. So we want to kind of like, listen, we're really big when it comes to customer service. So we want to kind of like just show you when you go into the trading room, you know exactly what you're seeing and where to find those videos. So I was always big when it comes to customer service, and it's not like you're buying something and here you are. Believe me, I lose money on the deal a lot. Nobody works for $9 an hour anymore. Okay, so just to let you know. So, but you know what? If I could teach you guys to be very successful at it, we'll do very well in the room. And that's what we're always looking to recruit. But like I said, it's not a lot. Take a shot. If it doesn't work, I'll give you $9 back. Don't worry about it. I think that's the only criticism I get. It just doesn't sound right. It's like, why is it $9? Some people ask me, well, why isn't it free? Because I don't want to deal with free people. If you can't afford $9 and you can't afford, I guess the same theory, Jeff, I was talking about earlier. Here you are seeing 50% of the volume in the market on NASDAQ costs you $15, and people still don't want to pay for it because they want it still to 20-minute delayed. I don't want those people, because they're obviously, that's just it. Whatever I tell you, it's not going to sink in. To be a trader, there's nothing free in this world. Gas is not free. Okay, a car is not free. I think there's no free lunches too.
No, somebody's paying for it.
Yeah, like I always get invited to go to these dinners, and it's a free dinner, right? Yeah. And it's like, oh, where's the dinner? I'm like, oh, it's at Peter Luger's, the steakhouse. I'm like, oh man, that's gonna be a sick dinner, great dinner, best steak in New York. You know what I mean? That's at least about $150 a person. First thing I said is, well, Peter Luger's is not giving it for free. Someone's paying. There's got to be, someone's paying for it. So And the reason why they're paying for it, there's a reason why they want me there. You know what I mean? Because they obviously see something in me. So the thing is, make a small investment and we'll take it from there. All right. Any other last minute question before we go? Schwab has taken the thinkorswim from me, so I'm going to wait until that returns, supposed to sometime 2024. Well, Ken, listen, there's a lot of the platforms out there. You don't have to use the Schwab platform. And you know, they have the what's that one? Edge platform.
Tasty Trade's really good too.
Smart Edge.
Go to them.
Yeah, and there's so many other brokerage firms out there. Don't even worry about it. That's the least of your problems.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good mentor. If it was successful, we were able to help others be successful and break free from investing worries to point. Right. That's exactly what the goal is that, you know, if we could teach you how to do it, that you're going to be able to teach other people. We're not looking to hold anyone hostage. You know, that's the great thing about being a good trader. All right. With that said, Geof, listen, it's always great being on with you. I love meeting you.
Always love seeing you.
And I'll try to bring you some sauce when I get invited again to Sawgrass. Just don't let anybody else know.
All righty.
And then thanks for X Pro having me on again, and look forward to seeing you all in the trading room. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Hope I taught you learned a couple of things, but once again, that's the beginning. Let's take it to that next level.
Yep. $9. Go for it.